Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you to the entire coalition of advocates that are here, the National Homelessness Law Center, the Southern Poverty Law Center, ACLU, the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Your dedicated work has brought us to this place. I also want to thank my incredible colleague, Representative Maxwell Frost, for everything that he is doing. Let me just start by saying every person deserves a roof over their head and a safe place to sleep. It is that simple. And 1 year ago, in the disastrous Grants Pass versus Johnson decision, the Supreme Court ruled that people can be penalized for living in public, even if they have nowhere else to go. And I want to just run through some numbers that give context to this. 0. That's how many counties or cities in this country exist where someone can afford to rent a one-bedroom apartment on minimum wage. 1,628. That's the average cost of a one-bedroom rental apartment. And to afford that, you would need a salary of $58,000, nearly 4 times the federal minimum wage. 7.1 million. That's the shortage of affordable and available rental homes in this country. So all of these factors come together to show us that homelessness is not a personal failure. It is a policy failure. It's a failure of government to help those who need it the most. What will criminalizing homelessness do in the long run? It's only going to make it harder for people to access housing. And we can just take one example from this administration that Jesse just referred to. In April, Trump used federal police to evict people experiencing homelessness from a federal forest in my home state neighbor to the south, Oregon, threatening a $5,000 fine and a year in jail. Now, I know that Trump and his billionaire buddies don't understand this, but $5,000 is a lot of money for the rest of us. In what world does taking this money from people help them to get housed? And in what world does giving someone a criminal record for sleeping outside help them to get housed? Now, I want to be clear, it's not just homeless people who pay the price. Studies show that it actually costs taxpayers $31,000 a year to jail just one homeless person. And it's also not just about homelessness. This administration's attacks are all interconnected. They're going after the most vulnerable, whether it's homeless people or immigrants or trans kids, just to see how much they can get away with. They want the American people divided. They want us looking at our neighbors as our enemies, all the while they give a $5 trillion tax break to the wealthiest billionaires. Ultimately, this is about power that they want to have over us. It's power over what we say. It's power over who we love. It's power over who makes decisions about our own bodies. It is power even about where we sleep. But there's good news. Since homelessness is a policy failure, not a personal failure, the thing about policy is we can change it. We can change it. We can pass the Housing Not Handcuffs Act to end criminalization. We can work to block Trump's big bad betrayal budget and ensure that folks are not kicked off of their health care. A move, by the way, that would throw millions of people into debt just for getting sick. We can work to raise the wage. We can work to provide universal health care, like Max and I are on all these bills. We're going to make sure we do this and provide universal child care and allow people to invest in affordable housing. These are all things that we can do together. I'm so grateful to the entire coalition that has gotten us to this point, and to my dear friend Cori Bush for starting this conversation on this bill last year. And I look forward to the day when we pass this bill through the House of Representatives. Thank you all so much.